Oh, Jesus, Jehovah's Witnesses, God damn it!
Trick or treat!
What the?
Trick or treat!
You're not even children, and you ain't no Tiny Tim, that's for sure. You got a fake crutch there.
That's right. I'm Little Kim.
And I'm Kim Jong-un.
Due to Article 4A of the New York State Child Labor Law of 2008, Trauma can't afford to have any real children in this video.
What's a trauma? I've never heard of a trauma before. Can I hit it? Does candy come out of it? I don't know if anything. I've never heard of trauma.
Shut up! Shut up, please! Troma is a 40-year-old independent movie studio. We've made movies like The Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High. In fact, the South Park guys started with Troma, James Gunn, Samuel L. Are you listening to me? Are you paying attention?
I've never seen a trauma online.
Well, Troma's not online. We're not online.
Well, then how do you watch your movies, Uncle Lloydle?
We go to a movie theater, we buy a ticket. Any jerk who wastes his time on the internet should be dumped in a vat of chemical toxic waste, and then he should have his head crushed. Go away, go away! Pumpkin bug, pumpkin bug!
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Happy Friday. Happy October, right? Yeah, that's right. It's fucking Halloween. So anyways, happy October 19th, 2018. We're almost there. How many days away is it? 10, 11, 12 days away from Halloween. Are you ready? Are you 12? Are you guys got your costumes ready? Anyways, whatever. I don't know. I just realized it's kind of like getting close to Halloween. That's just why. Plus the little video you saw at the beginning. All right, let's get to the show. So today we're just gonna talk about a few things. It's 12:30 right now p.m. and I'm starting to record this because it's been a very busy day, which I'll get to in a second. But I just want to lead in with this real quick. So yesterday's episode, remember what I was talking about, that new technology in which you'll be able to send Bitcoin cryptocurrency through the, you'll be able to send Bitcoin and cryptocurrency without having an internet connection. Well, I was watching the Crypto Lark earlier this morning, and he had like a little snippet on that story as well. And here, let me play it for you guys.
In another big bump for Bitcoin utility, a New Zealander has sent a Bitcoin transaction to a wallet about 8 miles or 12 kilometers away using a $26 smartphone. This is notable because the transaction used radio signals. There was no mobile cellular network or Wi-Fi involved. The underlying technology pieces used here were the Go-Tenna relays. They allowed the transaction to piggyback across Auckland to its destination. The application for such technology to bring Bitcoin into, for example, disaster zones, conflict areas, or regions which are seriously lacking infrastructure is very promising.
So, like as he was saying there, in a brief little short, someone's already used this technology. And last night on Twitch, again, you should, hang out with us on Twitch. But anyways, last night on Twitch, we were talking about that for a bit, and we talked about the technology, talked about the idea. We had a discussion within the chat, and I hope what you just saw there from the Crypto Lark answered a few more questions. And if there are more questions, please ask away in the comments, and we'll discuss further, or in the Discord. We could talk about this as well in the Discord. I feel like this is a very important subject, and it's a great subject to talk about. And one of the main technologies that's going to be pushing this whole thing forward, because if we can get away from the grid, totally decentralized, there's no more censorship, there's no more monopolization of internet or service and things like that. So this is just so much more potential. Plus, just the point that you can send things without service, that whole idea. So just wanted to bring that up again, and because I don't know if you guys saw last episode or not, but by the way, I'll put a link to yesterday's episode in which talked about this as well a lot, which it didn't get that many views. I think it's because I posted it late, but whatever. You'll see it hopefully if you haven't seen it yet. Now, what else are we going to talk about? Also, the reason I'm recording so late today is because I spent a good majority of this morning. Remember, every single day, Monday through Friday, we all gather on Discord. All right, I've already explained what Discord is more than once. But anyways, Discord is an app in which we can all chat, gather, and discuss ideas. And you know, you can either chat or do voice chat, and that's what. So every single morning at 9 a.m. we all gather on whoever wants to join us, and we just chat. And we you know, today's discussion lasted till noon. Well, it's 1 o'clock Eastern time, so it was about 4 hours. It was a 4-hour discussion. And why? Because we were discussing a bunch of new ideas for this channel, and not just for this channel, but like the reality is like we're gonna be building something else. We'll be discussing in the next few days and weeks coming up, and we're gonna be having definitely a working product, hopefully by the end of next week. All right, and definitely like a really good semi product by the end of this month. So again, you know, Halloween. Why I was kind of bringing Halloween, because that's the due date for, you know, that I've set for me and everyone else involved in this project. And if you want to know more about it, you're more than welcome to join us on Discord on Monday morning and chat and all that good stuff, and maybe even be involved, because we need all hands on deck. All right, we're building this awesome, I don't want to say it's my idea, because it's not. It's all of our ideas. It's all of us involved at the moment had this idea at some point, but we just haven't found the right people to do it. So now all of a sudden, you know, this morning we were talking and then the topic came up, and bam, you know, it's just perfect, because the ones so far involved all already kind of had this idea to begin with, and now we're found each other, and now we're going to be doing this. And then hopefully, you know, there's others that have the same kind of idea or would like to contribute to that idea and push forward. I don't want to discuss it yet, because it's, you know, just the discussion per phase of it, but by next week you will be definitely getting details for show, because we'll already have something already done and set. So it's, you know, we're going to be talking about it, so you guys can join. And again, if you guys really want to join and help, hit us up on Discord on Monday mornings, or just hit me up on Discord, and we'll go from there. Link is at the bottom. All right, so now that we've updated on what's going on with Jose, what's going on with the channel, and so on and so forth. In fact, let me do another quick update. Again, in case you guys don't know, every Monday through Thursday, we get up together on Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern. Every Monday through Friday, we get together on Discord at 9 a.m. Eastern, okay? So we got all that going. Plus, we got this going. Plus, we got more shit coming down this pike, all right? And so on and so forth. So a lot of stuff coming, all right? And coming in as soon as next week, all right? Not including websites and not including other stuff that we also have coming down the pike, all right? So, how about this? If you're familiar a little bit with what's going on with decentralized TV and the community that they're building, something similar is happening on this end, and we're doing it and we're building, and it's very exciting times, and I can't wait to keep sharing every single day with you guys in between news and updates. Now, to end this episode, because look, honestly guys, I gotta run and I got shit to do, and I apologize, but again, you know, you guys get plenty of content, you know, from me, from many different avenues, and not just different avenues, but you know, sometimes these episodes are an hour long, sometimes they're 20 minutes long, sometimes they're whatever this length is going to be. And what I'm going to start doing is, because just so that I can constantly be providing quality content, there's going to be days in which I'm just going to be giving you some updates. We're going to be doing a little talk, a little chat, so on and so forth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add and play some sort of blockchain, crypto related video, okay, to wrap the whole conversation around, and then we're gonna finish it off by adding, by you guys adding your comments down in the comments or in the Discord and continuing this conversation, so we're all involved, okay? Because it's not just about watching anymore. Now we need to get our hands dirty and we need to start making things happen, okay? And now I'm putting my money where my mouth is as well, in the sense that I say that we're all needed, and so no matter what industry or what background you have, your insight and knowledge is needed in this space. And what I'm trying to do, what we're all trying to do here, is that we're trying to get everyone to understand how they can be a part of this. Not just an investor, okay? Not just a hodler, but no, actually be a part of this, okay? And help, lead the way, or just be part of the whole situation. But regardless, if you're gonna be part of this, one way or another, we want leaders here, okay? And if you don't know if you don't know how to be a leader, we'll show you how to be a leader. And we're just building, again, as strong of a community as possible, so that we can use whatever skills we already have, coupled with the love and knowledge that we have of crypto, and put it all together to create whatever the fuck it is we're creating here. Follow me? All right. So now I'm gonna end it with this. Yesterday, I was watching the Kaiser report, and I saw Trace Mayer was being interviewed by Max Kaiser. And you already know Trace Mayer, you already know Max Kaiser. These two guys are fucking powerhouses that we love and we respect very highly in our space. So when I was going in with high expectations, and by the end of the whole interview, it was, wow, hell yeah. And let me just put it to you like this. A lot of the things that I've been saying on this channel, and I've been talking about and preaching for a while now, Trace Mayer has just literally said the same thing I've said, only more eloquently and better explained, and so on and so forth. So, that's why he's obviously highly respected and so awesome, because he can say like pretty much what I'm trying to say better, shorter. Just it is what it is. So I'm gonna end this video today with that interview, and just end it with that, so you guys can watch it and be exposed to that, and then just see when I'm talking about how Bitcoin is gonna take over, how when I talk about all that Ripple shit, when I talk about again, I'm not a Ripple fan, but the whole thing with the banking, when I talk about everything that I talk about, when I brought up Bakkt, remember I'm one of the first ones that brought up the whole Bakkt shit whenever the fuck that story broke. I think it broke live kind of ish on the live show, when I had the live show, but whatever, that's besides the point. The point I'm making is that they talk about Bakkt, they talk about the futures, they talk about the stock market, they talk about the whole fucking thing, everything that I'm talking about. But he brings it together, and again, hopefully you understand what he's saying, in sense that everything that I've been saying, he is just repeating right now, but really putting it together even more. In the sense that you'll see what I mean. Just watch the interview. It's really good, really interesting, and just has what I've been trying to say is that we're in the middle of a war here. We're winning, and it's over. You know what I'm saying. What I mean? It's not over. It's far from over. But what I'm saying is that we're gonna win. We're definitely gonna win. Okay. And when he was talking about Bakkt, or talking about other aspects of the banking cartel, that the only problem that they have right now is figuring out the custody situation. And so how he explained, yeah, I was Trace Mayer says, Trace Mayer said that he was developing his own custody type solution for these people, not for these people, but something that these people would be able to use. And then once he realized that that's one of the main things that the banking industry and the financial industry at the moment cannot figure out, and most likely by the time they figure it out is going to be too late, is that custody battle situation. So when Trace Mayer himself realized that, he's like, whoa, and he stopped developing that, and then he just started doing something else. Why? Because as he said, why the fuck would I create the solution that the banks would need in order to fuck us over? So that's what I'm trying to say, that this is what we need more of in this space. People that are very, very selfless and that understand what all this, the big picture and what all this is about. Okay, it's not about money, currency. It's not about, it's more than that. It's about the power that all this. It's the power. Whatever. I don't want to get into that. Sorry, I don't want to put. Let me put a fork in it. But anyway, the point I'm saying is that, you know, we need more people like that to realize that, you know, it's remember what I've said this before. I've said this before many times on this channel, where we need to build this future, but we need to build this future for ourselves and for humanity. We cannot build this future for the corporations, so that the corporations can put even more harder chains on us that we can't get away from. So that's what he just did there. He realized that he was going to help build chains for all of humanity for them. You know, so what did he do? He's like, oh no, fuck that shit. And he got away from that. You follow me? We need more of that. And there's a lot of people in this space doing that. And I'm telling you guys, we got this. So without further ado, let me play some Max Kaiser and Trace Mayer, and I'll smell you guys tomorrow. Oh yeah, before I forget, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, and share, always share. And thank you to the patrons. I know there's a new patron out there. Thank you so much for all the donations. Thank you for all the everything that we were doing, every single fucking you know, project that we're building, the community that we're building. Thank you for all the support, all the love, all the comments, all the likes, all the everything. Thank you. All right, now without further ado, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Ring the bell icon. Just trying to get you guys to laugh. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. All right, I'm tagging in these two guys. All right, tag in Max Kaiser and Trace Mayer. See you guys on Sunday for the week in review. But really, I'll see you guys on Monday. See you guys Sunday. Got it. I can't shut the fuck up. Love you guys. Peace. Have a great weekend.
Welcome back to the Kaiser Report. I'm Max Kaiser. Time now to return to our conversation with crypto mogul Trace Mayer. Trace, welcome back.
Oh, glad to be here, Max.
All righty, so let's get back into what we were discussing about Bakkt, which is this new New York Stock Exchange initiative. They're doing deals with Starbucks and Microsoft. It's really, as you laid out early on, going back to when Bitcoin is 25 cents, there's 7 network effects to be aware of as we head toward world domination for Bitcoin, and we're well into those 7 network effects. And so let's focus on Bakkt for a second. They are going to open the door to possible financialization. Now, financialization is part of the network effects. Some are fearing that this will give Wall Street a way to thwart the progress of Bitcoin as they do in the gold market with rehypothecation. Your thoughts?
I'm just not worried about it at all. I mean, what's the worst that they can do? Sell a bunch of Bitcoin they don't have and fail on the contract to somebody?
Right, that's the point.
Mean,
in other
that's
words,
the worst, and what's that going to do? It's going to suppress the price, which means that people are going to be able to buy more Bitcoin at a lower price. So whoever gets stuck with the failure to deliver, you know, or gets stuck with the contract where they can't deliver the Bitcoin, well, they're going to take a loss, but whoever bought the Bitcoin at the lower price will get the gain.
Let's talk about naked shorting for a second. So with naked shorting, the Wall Street's essentially selling stock or selling futures contracts that they're printing at the same time, that they're uncollateralized. They're not backed by anything. And if a price of something like gold goes up and they don't want it to go up, they can flood the market with sell orders from naked short sales of contracts that they are printing, like you would print fiat money. These are fiat orders. And it's been proven and documented that this goes on all the time.
I mean, I'm a consultant to GATA. I've been involved in their stuff for over 10 years. So, I mean, I'm very thoroughly aware of what's going on there.
Right, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee. And I mentioned that because they'll link to this and we'll get another 10,000 views. Anyway, but with Bitcoin, that is not the case because really this would thwart the naked short seller in a huge way because the hodler of last result has control of their private keys, number one. So you could, en masse, take delivery of those keys. You can't do it in gold because it's cash delivery, and nobody has the...
And it's so much more expensive. I mean, look at Germany. When Germany decided that they wanted to be a hodler of last resort and said, give us 800 tons of physical gold. how much did it cost to move all of that, to transport it, to verify the quantity and the quality of it? Every day, $20 billion plus of Bitcoin gets melted down and recast into new UTXOs, verifying the quantity and the quality with 100% on every transaction. You can move $100 million of Bitcoin for 10 cents.
Right, and so...
I mean, you can't do that with gold.
Does Wall Street even understand the liability that they are potentially opening themselves up to, or are they just going to stumble into this, get burned, and then learn the hard way?
I sure hope they don't understand it, you know, because I'd love to skin them.
Well, that's what's happening right now. As they try to position themselves into this market, they're very sloppy in the options market, and for shrewd traders, you can scalp them all day long as they move into it. Second idea, and this is more of a contentious idea, I want to get your thoughts on it. I mean, it's possible if worst comes to worst, or if there's an open warfare between the hodlers and Wall Street, it's possible to fork them. We can fork.
Yeah, I brought my fork along as a prop.
Yeah, oh, here's a fork.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
So this
Bitcoin
is,
fork right
return
there.
your Bitcoin fork. Now, explain how that would work a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, there's several different ways that happens. One is when the fork happens, they don't. If you don't have the private keys, you don't get the fork. You know, so like what happens if you're Coinbase and you're supposedly holding a whole bunch of Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin Cash comes out and all your customers are like, hey, you have to give me the Bitcoin Cash, and you might actually have a legal duty to do it because otherwise it would be unjust enrichment or some type of fraud or whatever, right? Like, how are you going to deliver the underlying? And then what happens if there gets to be a little bit of squeeze on the underlying, just for the fun of it?
Right. So Wall Street can rehypothecate all they want, because at the end of the day, they can get forked.
Yeah, they can get forked. If they fork too much, they'll get baked on Bakkt.
They'll get baked on Bakkt.
Like, I mean, they're really in a difficult position because how do they acquire a position in Bitcoin? You know, and 50,000 Bitcoins isn't cool. Like hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin, now that's cool, but like 50,000's not. And so if they think that they're gonna come and play in this space, and they're gonna bring the rules from the old system where you're settling into something that's not limited in amount strictly, that's not gonna work. You're playing with a new technology here. And the hodlers of last resort, in a lot of ways, I mean, they're not just a freight train, they're like a glacier. I mean, you're gonna, like, how do you, like, you're just going to get effortlessly pushed out of the way by the hodlers.
Oh, excellent point. Now, you've just returned from D.C. where there was some CFTC hearings related to Bitcoin. What can you tell us about what you saw?
Yeah, so I attended the Technical Advisory Committee meeting. It was broadcast open to the public also. The new commissioners are very interested in Bitcoin stuff. The Virtual Currency Subcommittee took up a vast bulk of the time. And they're trying to figure out mainly, you know, of course there's the AML KYC issue, but the really big issue is custody. Like, how do these institutions custody large amounts of Bitcoin? And, you know, we had a lot of those that we were building at Armory, but for whatever reason, like, you know, I didn't continue to fund it. And part of that, you know, I would say was, hey, if Wall Street and institutions want to buy Bitcoin, they can build their own custody solution.
Okay, speaking of that,
and it keeps the price down, so I acquire more Bitcoin in the meantime. So, like, why build the custody solution? So, I mean, they're really kind of in a pickle.
Yeah, well, they are going forward. So Gemini, the
Well, it takes a long time to build this stuff.
Yeah, well, they're building it. Like Gemini, for example, the Winklevoss twins in New York, they've got custody services they're offering, plus an insurance. They're going to start insuring these deposits as well, these Bitcoin holdings. That's part of the network effects, right?
Oh yeah, that goes right into financialization because you need insurance on the DCOs and the CEFs. And they talked about that. You know, right now the insurance at the TAC, at CFTC meeting, like the hot wallets, they usually get insured to at most maybe like 50 million, warm wallets 500 million, and cold wallets like 2 billion. So even right now, like the insurance companies are playing in the space, but large amounts of capital are not here. I mean, we're talking hundreds of billions of dollars. That's when things start getting interesting.
Right. They've also, Gemini's also created a stable coin that's compliant with New York laws. So your thoughts on these so-called stable coins, what do you think there?
I mean, it's crazy. Who's New York to think that they can let somebody issue like Federal Reserve notes on a blockchain and have that not be counterfeiting under federal law? I mean, you got like federal law preemption issues. You've got all different countries. Like there's a Chinese stable coin like coming out on Binance or OKCoin or something. There's definitely a market for it. Look at Tether. But you know, there's just a whole lot going on there. You have Chinese exchanges that don't want an AML KYC compliant stable coin in some cases. So it's, you know,
Speaking of China, is China going to go from being wary and concerned about Bitcoin because it's a decentralized technology in a very centralized economy to being a country that starts to see it as a strategic reserve and as they do battle with the US dollar? And could that set off like almost a space race of countries mining to create strategic reserves going forward? Could you see that happen?
Yeah, so supposedly there are some African central banks that are actually starting to hold Bitcoin. They're doing it through things like OpenDime. China specifically, I think they're going to get caught flat-footed again, just like they did with silver, you know, and they lost 78% with that transition. So I think India and China, you know, banning Bitcoin exchanges in India, like clamping down on the entrepreneurial process in China, the Great Firewall, like I think they're just same song, second verse. They're going to get hit flat-footed again.
The Chinese during the silver standard they had in the 30s, I believe.
Yeah, so they were the last to basically demonetize silver and move over to gold, and as a result, they're the ones left holding the bag, just like Africans holding gold glass beads, or you know, whoever holds the inferior technology. I mean, Stone Age didn't end because of a lack of stones. Like, we're in a new age now, and Bitcoin's here, and there is nothing on the horizon with anything close to these network effects.
Right. Let's talk quickly. You know, as you mentioned, nothing like it, but the altcoin market. Tom Lee of Fund Strat points to certain sectors of emerging commodities, platforms, privacy, exchanges, stablecoins. So he's separating this market into these different categories. Altcoins, your thoughts?
I mean, well, they're just getting obliterated. Why? Because almost all of them have no use case. And then a lot of them are built on top of Ethereum. Who's been able to sync an Ethereum full node from scratch anytime recently? I mean, it's just absurd, like the lack of scalability there. And then you've got Rootstock, and maybe ICOs will start getting done on Rootstock via Bitcoin. And so I think in a lot of cases, these ICOs have way overshot and then corrected. And you know, and then when that safety and liquidity starts to dry up, people will need to cash out in order to get into something more stable. And so we've seen a lot of the capital flowing out of the ICOs into Ethereum, out of Ethereum into Bitcoin or dollars. But if the next big bubble has ICO or whatever bubble is taking place on Bitcoin via Rootstock, you know, like what use case does Ethereum have? And so why own that?
That would be a big Zippo. Andreas Antonopoulos, Bitcoin.
Yeah, buddy of mine.
Well-known Bitcoin man. I spoke to him the other night, and he said that he thought smart contracts were impossible on Bitcoin. Trace Mayer, your thoughts?
Well,
start a fight here on the show.
Well, I mean, we got multi-signature going on, like P2SH. No, I mean, smart contracts are definitely possible. It's just, how do you really want to do it? And like Blockstream just launched Liquid, which is a sidechain. You know, like when Adam Back announced sidechains, there was a meme, like, and suddenly millions of altcoins cried out, and then there was silence. Like, boom. Right. So, you know, we can do so many of these things on sidechains, and then you got interoperability, and since you've got Bitcoin impregnated into it, you've got a floor on what the thing can be worth, because you can always take it out of the sidechain back into the main Bitcoin blockchain.
I don't understand this argument that you can't do, you know, smart contracts on Bitcoin for all the reasons you just said. I mean,
and then look at Lightning Network, you know, and HTLC, like, so we got a whole bunch of stuff that's already happening there. It's how complicated you want these smart contracts to be, and Bitcoin scripting language is much more narrow as opposed to like Ethereum's, but that's for security purposes. I mean, you can build an insecure layer on top of a secure layer, but not vice versa. And Bitcoin is the secure layer, and Ethereum's not. Look at the DAO, look at the scalability, look at the full nodes being sunk from scratch. It's a real problem.
Right. So people say that unless you own a node, you're not really fully Bitcoin supportive. You know, is that something you would agree to?
Well, how I kind of phrase it is, if you want to choose to be a first-class Bitcoin citizen, you run a full node and do your validation, and you hold your own private keys. If you want to be a third-class Bitcoin citizen, like, hold your coins on Mt. Gox. We see what happens to people that are third-class Bitcoin citizens. They get obliterated, you know, and that's because they're not taking the security seriously. If If you have $5 of Bitcoin, put $5 of thought into securing it. If you have a bunch more, put a bunch more thought into securing it.
Chase Mayer, the Howard Hughes of Bitcoin, right here on the Kaiser Report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Max.
Come on, everybody! Let's end this the way all holiday specials end. We'll sing White Christmas. Come on, you saw it on the Charlie Brown. Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
The revolution will not be televised.